nothing wrong with wine. Hey, it's good material, but there's nothing unique about it.
That's definitely fascinating in terms of that note, because I have lots of people that will they're familiar with hemp and cannabinoids because I've talked their ear off about it, and they'll go into a store and they'll call me and they're like, oh, I'm looking at this product on the shelf, I think I'm gonna buy it. Are you familiar with this brand? And I'm like, there's maybe, never heard of it. And there's maybe 10, 15 brands that I actually trust, right? And I'm like, okay, you can buy from these guys. Other than that, I have no idea who the person is, right? I can't verify who this is. And so you had mentioned the whole aspect of the cost, all the costs coming down. So kind of two pieces of that. A is do you need to have scale in order to bring those costs down, right? Do you need to be able to produce a higher quantity because you have the regulations that you have to deal with, and so as you're saying, that costs just exuberant amounts of money. And then if you do need to have scale, or even if you don't, how do you see the boutique processors shaping out? Where are they going? Are they going to be able to exist going forward, or do you think that they're going to kind of be pushed aside to an extent?
It's impossible to maintain a GMP environment with, a 2 or 3 or 4 person operation. It's not going to. You really need a pretty decent sized core staff. You need a decent sized facility and all the equipment, everything else. So there's a, like I say, you need to be doing $1.5 million to $2 million worth of business just to function and
just to
do
break
all
even.
that stuff. Well, yeah, and have the money to do all that stuff. So, so the real problem is, you got to ante up a lot of money to get into the game. And then it's still a lot of work. That does, just because you spend all the money and did everything doesn't mean you're going to get 2 million in sales. So, is there a lot of opportunity? Yeah, I think so. But I think really what, and I said last time, there's only going to be half a dozen people left, of any size in the industry. And, you saw the first inklings of this, to give you a perfect example, Stauber Performance Products. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stauber.
I'm not familiar, no.
They're an ingredient supplier for the natural product industry. They're huge. A couple $100 million a year. They're big time. Okay. They now offer Gen Canna product on a worldwide basis.
Gotcha.
So that's the kind of thing. You're going to see Kerr. Okay. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing in New York. Mm-hmm. There's probably going to be half a dozen of us in New York that are, working in New York. New York's a pretty good sized market. So,
absolutely.
We can do that. There's protection for us if, under 33B. So it internalizes everything in New York. There's room for other people, no doubt. It's a big place. Hey, I just read a thing where Colorado had 150 or $170 million in MJ sales last month, a month of May. Yeah, right. Nothing to do during the lockdown, right? So there's a lot of opportunity. I think we're going to see a couple big companies move in. Of course, you've got the Canopy operation down there in Kirkwood, New York. It's still building it, so you're spending $150 million now. So, get out of their way or you're going to flatten it, So it's, we have a niche, we do a unique thing. What we do isn't easy. Takes a lot of time. We're good at it. Can't do everything. We don't do everything. I'm not extracting any hemp here or anything. We strictly take other people's distillate crude and manufacture products out. And I think you to be successful in this industry, you gotta really pick your sweet spot and do what you're good at. And because you can, chasing every rabbit down every hole isn't gonna get you anywhere. Get tired, So, so you got to really pick what you're going to be good at.
Yeah, pick your battles.
Yeah, like we're not good at marketing. I have a brand. But I got a brand, but that's only because I can show somebody, I go, hey, look, we can make this all ready to go. It's my brand. I can put your label on it too. But I mean, right now, for every 200 bottles I make for somebody else, I sell one bottle of my own. I mean, it's not what we're doing.
Yeah. That's not where you make your profits. That's not where you
people want to have their own label. People want to have their own labels. So we're making stuff for people with their own label on it. And,
absolutely. Somebody else can build a brand.
They want to build a brand. I mean, we're doing it by default because we have to have it. And we've got everything to do it. So, we're happy to sell you ours, but you put your, once you get to a certain point, you put your own label on it, so, that's what we see going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Interesting. And so to, again, kind of step back to like the pricing aspects of things, since you are a contract manufacturer and you're not even just dealing with your own product line, but you're dealing with many other different product lines. People are coming to you trying to figure out how they can make the most affordable product, how they can make the best product, all that kind of. What does it cost on average to take a line from conception to be able to sell something on the shelf?
It can be anything from a little bit to a lot, depending on what you want to do. And I'll just give you a perfect little bit example because probably a lot of people interested in doing this. Okay. Give you an example. We can white label 1,000 bottles of product for somebody to put their label on it. So if they can do the artwork, okay, all right, they can contact us. Like say, these are $12.50 a bottle if you're buying 1,000, right? We put your label on it, and you got 1,000 bottles sitting in your garage. What you do with it after that, I'm not sure. But if you can do Adobe Illustrator and you're a good artist, you've got a bunch of bottles in your garage for $15,000. Okay. To have a distribution and a brand presence and all the marketing, and we're not allowed to go to trade shows, so I guess you can't go to trade show, but which makes it difficult to sell.
Very challenging.
I mean, most companies spend more money on marketing than they do on making the product.
Yeah.
So you can spend an awful lot of money. I mean, perfect example is MedMen. Okay, built these gorgeous stores all over the place, and now they're bankrupt.
They are gorgeous. Yeah.
Aren't they though? I mean, oh my God, right? All the tropical hardwood and everything in there, but so I mean that's that's the extreme example. So building a brand is more than just actually having the product in your hands. It's website design, how you're actually going to get your product in front of people, where do you get shelf space? I mean, all those things are challenging topics. I mean, people we work for already have distribution. All right, we don't have it. I don't have 42 hemp stores I'm selling to. It's not what we do, but people we make stuff for have 300 that they're selling to.
Yeah.
So, they're very specific about how many bottles in a box because we got these units are going out to all these different places. So, so it's out there. I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity in New York for small grower now under the new program, and also for the small retailer. There's going to be product in Walmart soon. Get ready for it. Okay, but it may not be what everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
And how Walmart, just to give you an example, they don't buy on a state by state basis. So trying to do business with them, we do business with them right now, is not the easiest thing in the world. In fact, it's very difficult. I wouldn't even talk to them. Because I've got experience.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I mean, if you got a good manufacturer, you can get a lot of stuff done inexpensively. That's the real key. I mean, you can't buy the equipment to make capsules and everything. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I tell people here, the first kilo of powder we made cost $2 million. After that, it got cheaper. But the first kilo was $2 million. It took 8 years to get to, but it's more of, what other contacts do you have? How can you get it out into the marketplace? Now, I don't even know how to function under our new market things, so then that presents a whole other set of challenges.
Yeah.
So, can't just because you got a site online doesn't mean you find it.
Yeah.
And if they do, how do they know you're legit anyway?
Exactly. How do they know you're legit? How do you stand out from all the other companies out there that are selling your product? Yeah,
I got the crappiest website on the planet, and we're probably more legit than anybody else. I mean, as far as making stuff goes.
Absolutely.
Beautiful websites. I show up like, where's your lab? Oh, we don't have one. Man, you spend $50,000 on your website. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Pictures and did it with GoDaddy in an afternoon.
Yep.
Done. But,
yeah.
Just a different approach.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of you can make yourself look amazing, but you may not actually be all that great on the flip side. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you made an interesting note on the aspect of like new retailers coming in and new growers coming in as like really where the people can really try to get into the market, because I know even people like making comments on my YouTube videos. People come to me and be like, oh, I'm a grower. I'm thinking about buying a small processing unit and starting my own extraction facility and starting all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe like I don't want to ever discourage anybody, right? Because like I'm sure there's somebody out
Skip
there.
the agony, commit suicide now. I mean,
yeah, no, exactly.
It's a matter of like I don't want to discourage them because maybe they do have the potential to do that, but like really looking at it like, okay, unless you're going to get together with a whole bunch of growers and you guys are going to be able to put together multiple millions of dollars and bring the expertise in to actually manufacture these products, like you should just be a grower and be the best grower you can be, and then that way you can be able to sell those materials to a processor, right? Because as you said, like you may be able to make more money on the other end once you build all those processing plants, but you got to put in the millions of dollars to get there, and so you got to have that capital up front, and then you got to put in all that time and work and everything versus just growing the plant and being the best grower you can be. And then also on the flip side, becoming a retailer, because I mean, like, yeah, exactly, like being able to go into the store and actually have somebody that's at least somewhat knowledgeable about the product that they're selling. Because you go into most gas stations and the person's like, oh, what's CBD? I just know that we have a product right there, like that's CBD. Yeah.
What do you have? And I'll tell you what, unless you're in a really isolated area, there's a lot of feral hemp out there right now. So it's really easy to have your crop contaminated with pollen.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, and I'm already hearing chatter about it, people coming in and doing light dep for hemp here in New York, so that they can grow high-grade New York State bud and not have to worry about it going to seed, because you're coming off of it in June or whatever, so you don't have to worry about it getting contaminated with seed, or grown indoors with air control. I know of 2 large facilities being built right now, 40,000 square foot each, to grow hemp bud, specifically hemp bud for the recreational smoking market. So,
yeah,
so it's pretty interesting. So there are some opportunities. for smaller people with limited amounts of capital to participate. But right now, the cost of capital is so high, and there's a lot of product in the market right now. It's oversaturated. It's not the right time to be trying to run against the big guys. I'm not a big guy by any stretch of the imagination, but we do stuff that, where is here? We do stuff that other people aren't geared up
Yeah.
for.
You're more specialized.
Yeah, so like I say, we don't do any extractions anymore.
Yeah, you
Bunch of
figured.
Yeah, you figured out where you best fit into the marketplace, and again with your knowledge of how to manufacture these products, you just can further that into the hemp industry. And there's no point in you setting up distribution networks, no point in you setting up a growing facility and everything when you already have all that A, expertise, and B, just the machinery and equipment and the facility to do that, right? Because again, that's many millions of dollars to even start setting that up. And so to kind of like talk a bit more, getting into like the actual, so even though you're not necessarily marketing these products, but what are some aspects when it comes to like labeling the product in terms of like what are you allowed to put on the label, like how is that kind of like how is that kind of shaping up? Because I mean, like we can't say like this cures stuff, right? So not even necessarily specifically in the hemp space, but like in nutraceutical in general, like how does somebody word something to say that like it does such and such without saying it cures stuff, right?
Well, we don't make any claims
Yeah.
of any type whatsoever. It's not allowed. You don't. Anybody who really has been in this industry for any amount of time um, isn't going to play that game, right? It pretty much, the consumer has to have some elemental degree of education to understand what they're buying. Most people do. Unless you're buying potato chips, you don't go out and buy a bottle of vitamins without. And
Looking at
I
the
know,
label.
I know vitamin C is good for me. Because you figured it out.
Yeah.
So would you really, in our case, what we really have to do is meet the New York State guidelines. There's a sample label right there.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Sitting there. 25 milligrams CBD.
Yep. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Okay. In this case, for New York State, we have to indicate how you did the extraction of it. So in this case, the supercritical CO2 extracted industrial hemp on our label. Okay. We have to indicate the amount per serving of each of the cannabinoid compounds over 0.5%. So the amount per serving and the percentage of the actual cannabinoid in the capsule of
Gotcha.
this product.
Interesting.
Okay. All right, so that's a New York State requirement. And QR code, quick response code, so that you directly can go to the website and take a look
See
at
the testing.
see the test data and CNA, and then our GMP stuff and indication that it's got THC in it, and we're pesticide and herbicide free, which New York State requires anyway. But we put a disclaimer on it. The product is neither reviewed nor approved by the state of New York. It's not been analyzed by the FDA. Limited information. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure. So, you have to pretty much follow the rules. Okay. And the rules are vague.
Yeah.
They're not all that clear. You try to do the best you can, and if somebody doesn't like your label, it's with the state or the FDA, my advice is change it and do it the way they told you. Because but you have to make the best effort. And, and have a substantially compliant label. ignore everything they ask for, and then they catch you with this stuff, and you're like, come on, you're not even close. Then you got a real problem. Okay. But somebody, hey, really, the QR code needs to be 2 millimeters larger. You missed that on the thing. Oh, okay. That's the type of thing that happens.
Yeah,
It's a lot of minutia.
Yep.
I mean, legal firms that do nothing but these labels.
Yeah. And now, do you guys have like an in-house lawyer? Or do you have like a particular legal firm that you guys work with in order to make sure everything is compliant with that, or have you just gotten so used to it that you pretty much know what to do? Yeah.
I mean, I've grown up with the whole industry for 30 years. I've been reading these regulations forever, and I tell people I'm not clear, and I do it every day. And there's things that we're unsure of, but we try to you try to be substantially compliant, and that's the key. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. You're going to have, they come in, like our last audit, we got a 98. That's a good score on an audit. They're always going to find a little something.
Yep.
And, most of the time it's constructive criticism. So if you're already functioning in the high 80s or whatever in an audit, your auditor's going to tell you stuff to help you move up the ladder. I mean, believe me, first time out, we didn't get a 98. I mean, you pass with an 80, okay, we got an 82, but we over the years we've worked our way up.
Yeah.
Added those things we were missing or needed to be embellished a little bit. That's where we're. So, that's the challenge.
Yeah. Following those minutiae, and then people, of course, try to go into the gray areas. But I mean, as we're talking about here, it's the whole aspect that the industry is maturing. Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to, like I talking with the state, with Axel and those guys, I suggest that guys, you need to have like a New York State safe hemp poster up in every retail location that shows, hey,
what should be looking for.
Yeah, here's the things that have to be on the label. Here's what you make sure there's the audit number on the label. There's a GMP seal on the label. Make sure that it's New York State compliant. You can look up, hit the QR code, make sure they got the license. All that stuff. And then educate the consumer is going to be your best consumer. They're going to be the ones that, I told everybody, I go, look, if you do this right, New York State becomes a destination for hemp, because you're going to know, wow, the word's going to get out. New York State hemp it's hard. Hey, it's got to be pesticide free. It's got to be GMP. It's got to be, wow, that makes a big difference to a lot of people once they understand what that really means. So, I think it's a good thing.
No, I strongly agree with that. I mean, as you said, like, the consumer is the one that really needs to, like, they're the last piece in the supply chain that needs to be figured out and taken care of in order for the industry to really grow, right? Because we can build we definitely needed to build the car so that somebody could hop in and drive it, and now we need to actually, like, be able to get the consumer along so they know how to drive the car, right? Because if they don't know how to drive the car, then it's not going to sell off the lot. So
New York State's making all the right moves, I think. I mean, I really think they are. It took a little longer, and I think we all want it. We got delayed by a few things here, but we're getting there, and that's what counts. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
to kind of like again jump back to the whole aspect of contract manufacturing, you were saying, like, if somebody wants on a small end, they can pay $15,000 to get 1,000 bottles. But now, is that of like the more generic product that they're getting essentially, versus like another company coming in and being like, we want to make this custom formulation to then sell out the door?
Straight CBD capsule, nothing special, just regular run-of-the-mill CBD. Okay.
Yeah.
Most of the people we're bottling for now are providing us with their distillate
formulation
because it has something unique or better about it.
Yeah.
What it costs them to make that bottle is probably a little bit more. but they're putting more into it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really just to give you an example, that really unique cannabinoid profile material. Okay, well, that's premium product, costs about 50% more.
Yeah.
So that this same bottle would be $15 or $16 instead of $12.50 because you've got,
Gotcha.
2 grams that costs a couple of dollars more in there. So yeah, at least $15. So
Yeah, got to mark it up a little bit.
well, you got more product cost.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So, but that's what we're going to start seeing. I think really, yeah. There's always generic CBD. This is generic CBD. I mean, it was this was Hawaiian Haze. Came from
Gotcha.
Hawaiian Haze.
Yep.
Okay. Which is good material. Okay. Nothing wrong with Hawaiian Haze. Good material, but there's nothing unique about it. It's got a high CBD. It doesn't have any interesting. Got a little bit of CBC in there.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of that's it. CBC in that one. So,
yeah.
But that's what we're seeing. So it's the people there's people out there now sitting on hundreds of kilos of material and making better stuff every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some really great stuff in the last 6 months. Really great stuff, and I think we're going to see more of that. Now, if somebody comes to me, I can't necessarily advise them on where to go for their raw material. I mean, I'll give them some suggestions, obviously, but what we're seeing from, like my smaller buyers, they're just like, oh, I need 300 bottles. They're not worried about just has to have CBD in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like the guys who are doing stuff for out of state, they're all with special stuff.
Special blends.
Yeah. Everything's special. And, that I think was going to be the key.
Yeah, interesting. And so kind of on that note of the cannabinoids, and I'm assuming that the capsules are all powderized, right?
Yeah, they're you have to turn it into powder and put it in the capsule.
Yeah.
So we actually have a process where we blend it with organic oat fiber and organic pea fiber, and then that's and a little bit of cellulose, and that makes the
better delivery method.
Yeah, pulverize it. Yeah, and then we can encapsulate it and do what we want to.
Yeah. Oh, so are you turning the distillate into a powder and then mixing it with those things, or are you mixing the distillate with those things and then breaking it down and if you're able to share that?
Mixed together, we use a special process, heat, pressure, and then we have special milling equipment to mill it into a powder.
Yeah.
So it's a process, but what you end up with is like it was a test run I did for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's powdery stuff, and powdery enough to go in a capsule. It makes excellent brownies too.
Thank you very much for joining us here on WhatCannaRadio. If you enjoyed what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please consider smashing that like button below and subscribing to our channel so you can be the first to know when we release new content. If you enjoyed the video so much that you'd like to watch another right this moment, check out our video right here. Or if you'd like to see what YouTube is offering to you, check out the videos over here or down below. Thank you very much for joining us and have yourselves a wonderful day.